Hi, my name is Taya Knott. This assignment is to reading strategies, book lesson, and reflection in the genre fiction. This is Literacy Foundations 2, and today's date is November 17th, 2024. So Kinsley and I just got done reading the book called My Mouth is a Volcano, written by Julia Cook and illustrated by Carrie Hartman. So we are going to be covering two strategies today. Kinsley, we read the book together. Can you kind of tell me what you took away from the book before we get too far into anything? My mouth is a volcano. What does that mean?
It means like you're blurting out.
Mm-hmm. And what do we see our main character doing a lot in our story?
Like yelling, like the answer and stuff.
Maybe talking at inappropriate times.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So we have two strategies that we're going to be working on completing today. The first one is going to be leaning on the pictures, and the second one is going to be all about the title of the book. So, Kinsley, I picked out some pages that I want us to look at the pictures. Now, when I give you the book and we go to those pages, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to do a demonstration. Let me just skip to a random page here. Okay, so in this picture, right here that I'm looking at, okay, pretend like there's no words, okay? I'm not going to read any words. I'm not telling you what the words are saying. I'm going to look at the photos, the illustrations, and I'm going to take a minute to brainstorm in my head what I think is going on, okay? Now, after I have thought about that, I'm going to take and I'm going to touch the page because I'm going to tell you what's happening at that point in the story. What I can see is our main character, and I don't remember what his name is. Let me see if we have Lewis. So, it appears that Lewis is sitting here with his nose in the corner. So, it's probably a pretty fair guess, a good educated guess from what I can see, that he's probably in timeout. I can see that there's not a lot of stuff around him, that he has one ball and one stuffed animal. So I think that he got in trouble for something. Now on this page, it looks like they're having family dinner. Lewis appears to maybe have thinking about a piece of bubble gum in his mouth. I wonder if that is a strategy for him on not blurting out. If you have something in your mouth, maybe you're less likely to talk at an inappropriate time. It looks like Mom and Dad are having a discussion, and I can make that guess because her mouth is kind of open and they're staring directly at each other. Lewis does not appear to be a part of the conversation. Does that kind of make sense? Perfect. So, now, I've looked at the pictures, I've explained what is happening, and then what we can do to help us kind of connect that to the text is we can read just one quick sentence from here. So, here we go. I got a timeout. I made that guess when we were reading, when I was telling you what I thought was happening in the picture. Now, when we go to this picture, I'm going to read this sentence. Then I thought, Bill can blow a bubble inside of a bubble when he chews 2 pieces of bubble gum. Now, remember, I had said that it looked like maybe Lewis was thinking about chewing some gum. Apparently, from what we just read, this is actually his friend Bill. So, what I'm doing is I'm leaning on the pictures to tell me what's going on. But I'm also remembering that there's words and context clues that are going to help us with that. So sometimes when we're looking at a picture or we're reading a story that maybe we don't always understand, we can look at the pictures to try and help us visualize what the author was trying to tell us. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions?
I wonder what is going to happen next.
What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. Now, I picked out some pages that I wanted us to look at. I'm going to show you what they are, and then we're going to remember that there's no words on here, And I want you to use these pictures to tell me what's going on. And then we're going to pick one sentence.
Like, are we going to do, like, both of these or just this
Nope.
one?
So I'm going to show you what pages. So we're going to do this page, page number 5.
I think to 10.
Page 6 and page 7. Page 8 and page 9. And then we're going to end on page 10. Now, I want you, if you need to take a minute to look at these, you can. If you're ready to just tell me, that'll work. And then when you're all done, I want you to pick one sentence from each page. So, you're going to look at page 5. You're going to tell me what you think is happening. And then you're going to read me the sentence. And then you're going to look at page 6. Okay, page 6 doesn't really have any words, so we're going to just look at page 7. And then there's only one sentence, so you're going to read me that sentence. And then you're going to flip to page 8, and that's what we're going to do for those pages, okay? If you forget or you have questions, let me know so that we can work on that together, all right?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I think his, like, tummy is hurting.
You think his tummy is hurting? Why do you think that? What kind of gives you that idea in this picture?
Because it says rumble, and his stomach is rumbling, and another rumble, so it's just rumbling because he's probably, like, hungry or he has a stomach ache.
Is there maybe something in his face that kind of helps give you the idea that maybe something isn't feeling good?
That he's, like, looking down and he has, like, a sad face on.
He does. Can you go ahead and read me the sentence?
My tummy starts to rumble, and then it starts to go grumble.
Good job. Go ahead and go to the next page. Now, again, I want you to look at the picture, give me an idea on what you think is happening, and then I want you to tell me, and then we're going to read the sentence.
I think he's, like, shouting that he's excited
Okay.
or something.
That is a good idea. Go ahead and read that sentence.
My tongue pushes all my important words up against my teeth, and then I think he's just, like, shouting out, like, and, like, he's, like, screaming, and then these two people, like, look at him.
You can either do this little sentence or this sentence.
Words just explode out of my mouth. My mouth is a volcano.
Good job. Now, this one has a lot of sentences. So I want you to give me your description of the picture first, and then we'll look at the sentences to pick the one that goes best with that.
So he's like reaching over and then raising his hands, and his, like, mouth is, like, shut, and he won't even, like, scream out or something.
Does it look like maybe he's trying not to yell in the picture?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a sentence that you think would look the best? That's the one that you think would. I want you to read it in your head first. If you need to read this whole page, go ahead and read this whole page. But I want you to find a sentence that fits the best. Is that what you think fits this page the best? Okay, go ahead and read
I
it.
think it, like, goes to so, like, it goes to us.
So that's where it ends. So I want you to think of what sentence would fit best.
Probably after I read it.
Okay, go ahead and read it out loud.
I waited perfectly for
Patiently.
I wait patiently for what seemed like 62 years, and my important words slid out from my head into my tongue.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so we are only going to be looking at page 10, and then we're going to stop, okay?
He's like, his tummy was grumbling, and then he just shouted out, like, can I read, like, what it said?
Well, I want you to summarize the picture, and then we're going to look at the words.
Yeah, he's just screaming out.
Okay. Now, this one has a lot of options here. You can read something from up here, or you can find something down here that you think would fit what you just described the best. Okay.
I'm hungry too. can we go to lunch now?
Okay. So I'm going to read a different sentence because I think the description that you gave, maybe there's a sentence that better describes that. My tummy started to rumble, and then it started to grumble. My words began to wiggle, and then they did the jiggle. So I think that's kind of where that like rumbling and grumbling comes from. Do you feel like you know how to lean on the pictures to help you recreate a story or to retell a story?
Yeah.
Is this a tool that you can use maybe when you don't always understand what happened in a story?
Yeah, like once I was probably like in first grade because I'm in second grade now, and like I think I couldn't like understand like what it was happening, so I just had to like see the pictures, and then I just thought of it. And
it helped you visualize what was happening. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and shift gears a little bit. We're going to be talking about title power. Now, a title tells us a lot about a story, right? Like, for example, don't let the pigeon drive the bus. What can we kind of infer, which means a guess? What kind of guess can we make from this title?
Like maybe like because we read this book, like I read it to here, and I think like a bus driver was like telling them like no,
like not to let the pigeon.
Yeah.
Right. So would that kind of make you think, if you go to a library and you pick this book up, does the title kind of help you decide if that's something you're going to be interested in?
Yeah.
Right. So we looked at this title. What is this title?
My mouth is a volcano.
Now, what could we kind of infer from the title of this book?
Like he just shouts out.
He shouts a lot, right? Now, is this a book that you would want to check out at the library? Do you think this is more of like a teacher checkout book?
Yeah.
But do you think that the pictures help us understand what's going on?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, how did this title that we have, how did that connect us to the story that we read?
Because he shouts in the story, and it shows he's shouting right now.
Exactly. All right, Kinsley, I think you did a great job. Do you have any questions about leaning on the pictures or understanding how a title relates to the story?
Like a title like relates because it's like showing the picture that's like it's doing it in the story, and then if it's like the same, it's like when it's shouting out, it's like the same.
All right, good job, Kins. All right, I will see you next week for another lesson.